Hello, welcome. Today I decided to film this video because I thought it would be a good idea. I came up with it the day before Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day has passed. I'm going to be talking about the worst TWD couples, Walking Dead couples. Now, the reason why this was a topic that I thought of is because I was like, you know what? There are so many terrible ones. Well, actually, not even so many. I mean, I've only came up with 6 so far. And the reason why I have 6 is because here's the thing. I came up with the ones that I was like, that sit on my brain and it annoy me so much. You know what I mean? I didn't sit here and go like, oh, let me come up with like some ones that would be good for a video. Like, no, these are the ones that have been just on my brain that I'm like, this is so bad. You know what I mean? Anyway, just gonna get straight into it. My thing is that I have a problem with Walking Dead couples mainly because they suck at it. I don't have them in a particular order because they're all pretty bad, and I don't think one should be ranked above the other. They're all pretty bad. But first one I'm mentioning is Abraham and Rosita. Because Abraham was only with Rosita because he thought she was like the last female on the earth. He was like, I'm not gonna get anything better than this, so let's just, you know what I mean? And first of all, I think that they were just kind of bad altogether from the jump. They kind of were just weird. I don't know. It's like, did they even, I don't know. I feel like Abraham and Rosita didn't even like care for each other like that. I mean, I think Rosita liked Abraham, but I don't think he liked her like that. And it was just kind of like, you know what I mean? You know, he meets Sasha and then he's like, oh, never mind. You know what I mean? It was so weird. And relationship was just straight up bad. And then it ended, which was kind of a great thing. You know what I mean? And then he ended up with Sasha. And honestly, I don't think him and Sasha, it was short-lived. So it was like, but you know what I mean? Because he ended up dying by Negan. And she ended up dying by, should I say Eugene? I'm not going to say Eugene. Well, I'm going to say Eugene, but I'm not going to. Whatever, that's not the point. Next, in my mind, would be Lydia and Henry. Lydia is the daughter of Alpha. I feel like that relationship only happened because it helped the plot. They only started that because they're like, we're trying to kill Henry and we're trying to have like this whole like mass murder thing happen. We're like, you know, the whole Alpha killed a bunch of people and she put their heads on like these things, you know what I mean? The reason for that relationship was that so that could happen, you know what I mean? Because then when Henry started liking Lydia was like, you know what? These people might not be so bad. And plus, she got a crush on this dude. So it was like, oh, it's a whole thing, you know? And then with that, she tells her mom, who's Alpha, she's like, I don't want to go back to wearing walker faces and sitting in the wilderness. I want to be a part of something. And then, which leads her to kill Henry along with the rest of the gang. Not the gang, but, you know, some people who we didn't care about, and also Enid and Tara, you know what I mean? So I feel like that relationship only happened so that part of the story could happen, because I feel like they were thinking like, what way could we make this a thing? You know, what could we do to make Lydia want to be here, you know? And then it was like, oh, let's give her a love interest. Let's rush it and just make it a whole thing for no reason, you know? And I think that it was just a weird back and forth situation. Why did Henry like Lydia so much? I don't know. He just saw her and he was like, yo, there's no real development. He liked her because it helped with the plot, and she liked him because it helped with the plot. It was like, it was there for that one particular reason. It is what it is, and it was what it was. You know what I mean? Now, another relationship that I think, which would be number 3, Carol and Ed. For obvious reasons. I feel like I don't even have to explain that one. Like, Carol and Ed. You know? And then, my other one would be Andrea and the governor. And the reason why, because it's just stupid. Let's just be honest. I feel like, once again, this was only for plot convenience. Andrea is not that dumb, and I think that she, like, if we didn't switch her personality up, if they didn't switch her personality up to fit this story, she would have known that the governor was shady. Certain things happen in this show because it is convenient to the plot, because they're like, you know what, we need to make this story work, you know? And she kind of was just acting like she was completely blind to everything that the governor was doing and the shadiness of the governor. It was just like, you know, he's weird, you know, he's shady. Like, how are you not seeing this? Like, that's dumb, you know? And then Michonne, who she was rocking with for like a while, you know what I mean? Like, Michonne was her friend, they were chilling, you know what I mean? And then Michonne's like, yo, he's weird, we should leave. And she's like, no, like, you know, if somebody that you're close to goes like, yo, this person's weird, we should bounce, you'd be like, okay, cool, dope, gotcha. But no, Andrea was like, no, it's safe here. I don't have any proof, but I believe it's safe here, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, boo, let's see how far that goes. Let's see how far your ignorance goes, you know what I mean? But it's like, and yeah, and then it ends up with her being like, killed. You know what I mean? Another one that I don't like, which I feel like is kind of, I feel like a lot of people actually do like these two together, but Rick and Michonne, or Rashone, if you will, I never really liked that relationship, only because, and it's not because I'm like, I mean, I think I'm used to it now, so I'm not even worried, but I'm like, okay, it's whatever, you know what I mean? Like, they have a whole thing going together, it's like, okay. But I have to say, the way that it went was kind of bad. I think, like, there was no development towards that. There was never a time where it was like, oh, they're, you know what I mean, starting to like each other in like a romantic sense, because it just wasn't there for me. I was like, I didn't see it, you know what I mean? And then that one episode where she's like, oh yeah, get some toothpaste, and then he like couldn't find toothpaste, and he went through a whole thing, I'm not even gonna get into it, and then he ends up bringing back Mentos, and he's like, couldn't find toothpaste, and then he like puts Mentos in her hand, and then I guess that was the defining moment in their relationship. That was the defining moment where she was like, yo, that's a boo. I don't see how that even happened. See, I think that's the most ridiculous thing. I'm like, I don't see how that happened. I don't see how that went. I don't know how that happened. That's ridiculous. Like, I feel like when they're writing it, they're like, oh, these two people should be a couple. This would be shocking. We should make these two a couple. But they're like, we also don't know how to develop that kind of thing, so let's just make it happen. Let's just throw it together real fast, and let's go like, okay, great, this works, let's do it. I deal with it because I can, because I have to, if I want to keep watching the show. Now, another one that also irks my nerves is Rick and Jessie. The fact that I remember her name is actually baffling, but I remember a lot of characters' names, like remember Jim. Anyway, but Rick and Jessie, terrible couple. I don't know how that even happened. First of all, very short-lived. Thank God. Like, the thing about it is that I don't even know how it happened. I mean, 1 minute, they come to Alexandria, fresh new start. They come to Alexandria. They've never been in a place that was safe for too long, so they come to Alexandria. They're kind of on the fence, and she's like, oh, it's safe here, you know what I mean? And then he finds out that she's married and that her husband is abusive, and he intervenes, you know. Let's just say one thing leads to the next, and it results in her husband being murdered by Rick. Then he starts liking her, she like starts liking, it was just a whole thing, you know what I mean? And it was quick, fast, and I was just like, that's weird. And the relationship was just weird. I don't know what that was about. It was very short-lived because she ends up dying not too far after that. I'm like, thank God. I mean, because it's like, that relationship was terrible. It was just so bad. I don't even know when it started. He looked at her like something was wrong with her, and she was just too nice. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't see when anything romantic started happening, because when she cut his hair, because I don't understand. It was like a whole weird thing that just never got explained, and they're just like, this is something that's happening, and we're supposed to rock with that. We're supposed to be like, okay, yeah, that's dope, because it wasn't. You know what I mean? It was like, nothing about it was dope. It is what it is, you know? But anyway, yeah, that's about it. I'm done. It's also hot in here, and my hair is itching my neck. So I'm gonna go. Bye. And hope you're well, and eat a taco or whatever makes you happy. Anyway, bye.